My own grief is as a crushing weight upon my heart, and when I think of what Ida must be feeling, Papalimo's sacrifice cannot be in vain. We will find the means to deal with this primal. All I want to do is weep, but right now we need to hold back the tears and do what must be done. That's right. Foxy, I wish I had more to tell you, but the situation in the East Shroud remains largely unchanged, meaning we still have no idea how long it will be before... A communication from the Alliance. One moment. Yes, of course. Our representative will be present. My thanks. Word from Gridania. The council will be convened shortly. The Alliance leaders have already begun to assemble. They wish to discuss the primal, of course. As of Y'shtola's last report, the cocoon yet hung above the wall unchanged. Yes, but the Elder Seedsteer doubtless shares our concerns about how long it will remain so. I am told that Sid Garland has been called in to add his expertise to proceedings. A wise decision. The more minds we have working on this, the better. Well then, I suggest we leave the Rising Stones in Tataru's capable hands and make haste for the Lotus Stand.
A word, if you would, good sir. This place, it is within the realm of Eorzea.
You're an odd-looking fellow, aren't you? Still, takes all sorts, I suppose. This here's Vesper Bay. Thanalan's door to the ocean, as some folk like to call it.
Am I to understand from your answer that I have indeed arrived in Eorzea?
Eh? Yes? You're in Eorzea?
Ah! A plain response at last, and the one I wanted at that. My journey was not without its hardships, and I would sooner travel by land than put to sea again. You do not believe that so small a bark could bear me across the ocean? Such timid little sailors. I had but to set my course, and set my jaw till I made port. Though, 'twould perhaps have been wise to lay down my oars a moment to sup on more than the spray of brine water. By the trembling of my limbs, I sense a brief repast may be in order. Nay, I will not hearken to the feeble grumblings of an empty belly. Duty comes before all.
Good God, man. Are you all right?
Thou art far indeed from home, friend.
Oh, I think you guys are going to enjoy that character, because I sure do. Now, I was considering doing these last few quests in a separate episode, but there's so little left to do in Heavensward that I'm just probably going to bunch it all together. I might split this up into 2 separate episodes, but release them on the same day. I'm not sure. So, however it turns out, you guys will all see it on the same day. Welcome, Warrior of Light. This way, if you please. Of course.
Dear friends, pray accept my heartfelt thanks for your efforts in defense of Gridania's borders. I would fain dwell longer on my gratitude for the support of the Alliance, but the situation at Belsar's Wall demands that we forego such pleasantries.
According to our most recent intelligence, the cocoon of light that formed in the air above the wall remains undimmed and unbroken. After measuring the cocoon's etheric concentrations, Archon Y'shtola has confirmed the presence of a primal entity.
So we must assume that Ilbert's thrice damned god is indeed trapped within. And what news of the Imperials? They're not like to ignore such a spectacle.
Sir, a Garlean airship was observed making an approach, but the vessel was destroyed when it drew near. The Empire appears to have made no subsequent attempts to reach the object.
The soldiers who witnessed the incident spoke of a lance of light issuing from within the cocoon. Of an entire warship being reduced to smoking ruin in the space of a moment.
Well, it's not like we're going to miss it, but the Garleans sure will.
Veterans of Cartano, meanwhile, likened the destruction to that wrought by the fiery wrath of Bahamut.
We could face another calamity.
So the Primal is awake then? Contained, yes, but for how long? We must destroy it now, lest it break free.
Agreed. There is, however, the small matter of how to get close enough to a being that swats warships from the sky as you would a bothersome gnat.
Is this truly so complex a puzzle? Or have you no stomach for the obvious solution?
What in the hells are you doing here?
A pleasure to see you too, Garland. Now, if you'd be so kind as to explain to these good people why you should be begging me for my assistance, that would be most appreciated.
Who is this man?
Oh, how terrifically rude of me. Nero Tolskeva, former tribunus of the 14th Legion of the Garlean Empire. These days, however, one might say that I'm something of a free agent.
We love Nero, don't we?
What do you want, Nero?
I was getting to that. Although you already know what I'm about to propose, old friend. As you have rather belatedly realized, within that frail binding lurks an entity alike in strength to the great Bahamut, and the only force in existence which might conceivably contend with such a foe is the very creation which captured the Elder Primal in the first place. I speak, of course, of Omega.
Omega? That hulk has been gathering dust beneath the plains of Cartanow since the Allagans breathed their last. and none alive knows how to wake it.
I'm sorry. Do you understand who it is with whom you have the privilege of speaking? I'm Nero Tolskeva, Master Engineer, the mechanical genius who restored the Ultima weapon to full operational capacity. And as luck would have it, I'm graciously offering you the use of my considerable expertise.
And what, you just expect us to accept? You're a fool if you think your deeds at the Crystal Tower are enough to win my trust, Nero.
Trust? You wound me, Garland. All those years, studying side by side at the Academy, sharing both trial and triumph, we were countrymen once, you and I. But sentiment aside, have you a better solution? Or do you mean to send in your vaunted hero there, as you always do, and pray the world is not engulfed in flame? Let us approach the problem in a rational manner. Does not the fact that Omega slumbers in stasis point to the existence of some overriding technology? A means of control?
I would ask a question, if I may. Nero, was it not? In the event that we succeeded in using Omega to shackle the Primal in the manner you propose, what then would become of it? Do we not risk repeating the mistakes of the Allagans?
Omega is but a tool. How we choose to employ that tool is entirely up to us. Of course, if you would rather leave it buried beneath Cartano while you continue your petty squabbles above, then I suppose that is also your choice.
Spare us, Nero. The Seedseer's concern is a valid one. He who controls Omega wields the power of the gods, the very power which led the Allagans to destroy themselves.
And does it not fall to we engineers to prevent such misuse? What was your company's proud slogan? Freedom through technology?
A creed you follow, is it? What say you? Do we take this villain at his word?
Well, he makes a convincing case.
He makes me grind my teeth, is what he does. But I suppose we don't have much of a choice. Would the Council be willing to entrust this matter to a pair of former Imperials?
Yes. The task of restoring the Allagan relic will be yours. But the responsibility for its reawakening must remain with the Council. Do we condone this course of action?
Aye. It would seem we do. Let the record show that we invest this contingent with the authority to enter Cartano and take command of Omega. Cid, I appoint you leader of the expedition. Scions, I would ask that you assign some few of your number to escort Master Garland and supervise the other one.
It doesn't even need to be said. I'll be going.
We should be happy to oblige. The politics of Cartano being what they are, I dare say our neutrality will prove useful in avoiding any unnecessary entanglements.
If I am not mistaken, Doma occupies a similarly neutral position. Might we not persuade you to join the expedition, Lady Yugiri? If you suspected any foul play from Nero, you would be welcome to kill him.
Allie say.
My blade is yours.
Oh, that cold stare.
Not a moment's hesitation, eh? You'll forgive me if I do not shake your hand.
Come on, Nero might be a scheming bastard, but he's so lovable. Well, that was a rather unexpected development, and one which raises a number of questions, not least among them how Nero chanced to learn of the council meeting in the first place. We don't have the time or the luxury to worry about that right now. Sid and the others are assembling at the airship landing. Alice is already on her way, and it would not do to lag behind. Let us be off. Indeed. To the airship landing. Where is everyone? Foxy, Alphino, ready to go? The others have stepped out onto the landing for a moment, lest you wonder. Nero insisted that he be allowed to inspect the Excelsior before boarding. And you let him? Despite his very timely offer of assistance, a thought of the man poking about in the workings of the ship without proper supervision does not fill me with confidence. Calm yourself, Alphino. Your sister was adamant that he would never leave her sight. She and Yugiri are... Ah, well, here they are now. Right, I think that's everyone. Shall I set course for Cartado? Might I ask that we delay our departure slightly? I require no more than a few hours at most. Hours? Jesus. Our colleagues are studying Cocoon even as we speak, and I would hear their latest observations ere we proceed. It would seem wise to gain as clear an understanding of the situation as possible before formulating our plan. Oh, I thought time was against us. How foolish of me. Hold your tongue. When we want your opinion, we'll ask for it. Forgive me, my lady. I shall keep my counsel until such time as you have finished procrastinating. All right. While Alphino speaks with his colleagues, I shall fly the Excelsior over to Mordona, and we can reconvene at the Rising Stones. Mine apologies for the trouble. I shall visit your Stola and the others forthwith, and join you as soon as I am able. Foxy, pray accompany Alice back to the Rising Stones. I should feel safer knowing you are present to entertain our guest. Right. Everyone heading to Mordona is welcome to travel aboard the Excelsior. I'll clear things with the girl at the counter here. Let her know when you're ready to leave. Wait, really, what do you think Nero's gonna do? Steal our Magitech? We don't have any. You are traveling with Master Garland, yes? The Enterprise Excelsior is right this way. Let's go. No cutscene, huh? Though the Excelsior is looking lovely as ever. What manner of airship has no private cabins? Then again, I suppose Garland has to find somewhere to stow his half-baked inventions. Oof. I do not care for that man. Oh, he grows on you. Strange though it may seem, Nero's former loyalties do not trouble me, but I can see why people are loath to lower their guard around him. He's just a schemer, that's all. Not quite a door-to-door service, but I couldn't exactly land her in the Toll's main square. Shall we adjourn to the Rising Stones, then? We shall. Here we are. I do love the way Revenant's Toll looks from above. It's so pretty. Let's have a quick chat. We must be careful, old friend. The walking weapons of Alleg were expressly designed to subdue primals, but men like Gaius will always seek to use them against mankind. It falls to us to ensure that Omega is never employed as a weapon of war. In the wrong hands, it would be. It would be bad. Oh yes. That thing was able to contain Bahamut. Who knows what else it could do? One was created to capture Bahamut, and the other to surpass him. Which will prove the stronger, I wonder. Fear not, I shall keep a close eye on our new ally. I know Nero's a guest here, but we don't exactly have the happiest history with the Empire, do we? So, my question to you is, do I offer him tea? I mean, it'd be the polite thing to do. What do these guys have to say? Oh, looks like Coultonay and Hori and Ochre, their parties are all out for the moment. Ah, the determination upon their faces. There's nothing more blinding than youth burning with purpose. Hori Boulder and his companions left to continue reconnaissance on the beast tribes. They were adamant about shouldering what burdens they could while the senior scions were occupied with this cocoon emergency. That would explain it. So, Nero, what do you think of our lovely little establishment? Must look positively old-timey to him.
So these are the fabled headquarters of the Scions. I confess I would have expected an order of self-proclaimed warrior scholars to surround themselves with the fruits of man's enlightenment. And yet there's not so much as a single piece of magitech in sight. It never ceases to amaze me how primitive you Eorzeans truly are.
I'll have you know that the Rising Stones is home to the very latest in magitech innovation. Wedge calls it the Mark XIV Thermocoil Boil Master, and it's the finest kettle I've ever had the pleasure to own.
We are returned. Well, Ida and I, at least. Ishtola and the others remain behind to continue their assessment of the binding magic.
There didn't seem much point staying just for that, so I decided to come back with Alphino. Papalimo bought us this time. We shouldn't waste it.
By your leave!
Good gods, that voice could fell a gigas.
This is the Rising Stones, domicile of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I enter at the invitation of one Lord Urianger. I spy you there, Shadow Walker. You always were a hard one to find.
Yugiri, do you know this man?
Gosetsu! Why are you come to Eorzea?
In search of you, Yugiri. For days and nights did I row across the angry sea. I made port in good spirits, only for my own flesh to betray me over the trifling matter of an empty belly. Collapsed in the street like an unfed stray I was, until Lord Urianger came to my aid. Over a most welcome meal, we spoke of the plight of Doma, and I learned of our displaced countrymen's work to resettle this blighted land. 'Twas blind fortune that I was able to locate you so swiftly, but now we must make ready to depart. Our master languishes in dire peril, and Doma calls her daughter home.
It is not so simple, Gosetsu. There are obligations which bind me here.
You refuse? Did you mislay your oath during your flight from our homeland? The laws of hospitality must be honored, but surely the vow to defend your master demands the greater obeisance.
It was our master who bid me guide our people to safe haven by any means necessary. And it was the Scions you see before you who provided us succor and sanctuary when all others refused. Dire peril or no, were I to return without first repaying such hospitality, our master would cut me down at the threshold.
Mayhap that is so.
There is more. A crisis threatens all within this realm, Eorzean and Doman alike, and I go to play my part in its resolution. I will not bring shame upon our liege by abandoning my people or my duty.
How very noble of you. Now, in the name of honor, kinship, and, practicality, might I suggest we get this expedition underway? Or would you rather debate the finer points of duty and leave Omega to the Empire?
The Empire? You, Giddy? You draw steel against the curse of Garlemald? Then why did you not say so? My blade is oath-bound to fall upon the ranks of the Imperials wheresoever they march. Lead on, Shadow Walker, and may the enemy tremble at our coming.
I love him so much. He's like the samurai version of Hoary Boulder, and that's not just because they're both Rogadin. Foxy, wait, can I speak to you for a moment? Do you remember when I had you meet me at the Diamond Forge and we ambushed you? How could I forget? Well, once we had your measurements, I set to work making you a traveling outfit in my spare time. I've only just this moment finished the stitching, but I wanted you to have it before you left. Here. You can try it on right now if you like. Damn, we look spiffy as fuck. Assuming we measured correctly, the fit should be just right. Snug, but not too snug, if you know what I mean. So, how does it feel? Feels great. You're not just saying that, are you? Oh, I can't tell you how much this means to me. To have crafted something worthy of the Warrior of Light well, let's just say it makes all the practice worthwhile. I also sewed in a blood pearl charm to, bring you home. May it always protect you. Aw, Tataru. This is a new glamour for us. We're not going to use it immediately. I have a plan for it. You'll see. Just the 2 unexpected guests here, then. Still, I suspect that each will prove useful in his own way. Yeah, Gosetsu looks like he could slice a mountain in half. How dare he mock the Scions like that? If I ever had to sew a set of traveling clothes for him, I just might forget to take out the pins. My blade shall carve a path through the Empire's ranks as a scythe fills stalks of wheat. I have no doubt. Never did I think to hear Gosetsu's voice echo through these halls. Truly, I had no idea Domans could be so loud. He and Yugiri could hardly be more different. Oh, it's just like Eorzeans, really. We're cut from all different cloth. Oh, I think he's going to fit right in. I agree heartily. The Mark 14 Thermocoil Boilmaster? Dear me. How risible must the previous 13 iterations must have been. I could design a more efficient water heater in the time it took that ill-conceived lump to become lukewarm. Yes, well, we can't all be gifted, I suppose. So we have to wake Omega up, right? When do we start? Ida, are you sure that's... I'm sure, yes. I won't lie and say I'm completely fine, but I'll feel a lot better if I'm doing something useful. Just like Y'shtola. Very well. I will remain here and continue coordinating our efforts with the Alliance. Alphino, mayhap you could return to Gridania and assist Y'shtola and Kryl? A fine suggestion. The rest of us will form the Cartano expedition party. Nero and I will focus on rousing Omega, while Foxy, Ida, and our Doman friends take care of security. The Excelsior is just by the lake outside of town. We'll leave as soon as everyone is ready. Well, let's not waste any time. We have a primal to kill after all. Except this time we won't be the ones killing it, ideally. Oh, Midgard Stormer. What do you see in us now, I wonder? New resolve? Or simply the pain that still aches in our heart? Gosetsu is an accomplished swordsman. Should it come to battle, he will prove a staunch ally. Or that I could say the same for Nero. Well, he's been helpful in the past. Will this contraption truly bear us through the skies? What, have you never seen an airship? Soon, Omega, soon. I will see you rise again. Who the hell are these people? Oh, somebody in their chocobo fighting something. I was a bit lost for a while back there, but I'll be fine. Trust me. I know you will. We haven't far to go. With any luck, we'll be in Cartano before Gosetsu graces us with graces the deck with his dinner. Oh dear. Once there, however, we had best be on our guard. Given that Lin Ryu was still active when Omega was discovered, we can be sure that the Empire has long been aware of its existence. And if Nero deemed it the obvious solution to the threat posed by this new primal, it's not impossible that Garlemald might do the same. Have your weapons ready and your wits about you. Something tells me we're flying into a fight. Well, could it be that glowy thing around you? That always tells me when I'm ready for a fight. Ah, pieces of Dalamud still litter the plains of Cartano.
Now, where was that? Ah!
I've enabled the teleporter. One brief jump and we shall arrive in Omega's control room.
How convenient. You've been here before.
Of course. It was no easy task threading a path through all the skirmishes. But how could I ignore the existence of such a fascinating toy? You may trust that my preliminary examination was suitably thorough.
Trust? Aye. I trust your appetite for technology.
And just as we
down
thought.
a suspect airship, and who should I find but the traitor, Sid Garland. Searching for something, engineer? Something big? It's close, isn't it? It's like all my name days have come at once.
All the scouts the Empire could have sent. Take care of that brute, will you?
God damn it. Can't let Nero tinker around in there by himself. I'm sorry to leave you to it, but I dare say you'll manage without me. This clod has no idea who he's dealing with.
No, he does not. And you know what? Much as I trust Nero, you should probably go in there and keep an eye on him. Oh, it's good to have Ida fighting at our side again. Yugiri, too. And a new friend.
I am Gosetsu, Samurai of Doma. You will rue your choice of opponent this day.
Oh, I love this music. Alright.
It's all over now.
His name is Grindwatt. What a stupid name.
Your defense is lacking.
Well, he's tough.
Look upon a samurai of Doma!
And when I say tough, I mean he can take a hit.
No holding back.
No retreat.
And here comes the others.
I have you.
Oh, he's hitting his own dudes.
You watching, Pabalimo?
Surrender! We have you outnumbered! I'm just warming up. Wouldn't be the first time. Are you still playing with those soldiers? I suppose I can lend you one of my toys, but only if you promise to give it back. Toys? What are you talking about? It's Nero's Magitech armor. Behold the Red Baron! Now end this nonsense. That look, though. What the? No one told me they'd have Magitech armor. Forward for the Empire! The honorless cur thinks to abandon his men. I shall see that he shares their fate. Pray attend to the rest of his minions. See, we love Nero. He even lets us play with his toys.
This one'll sting.
Let's see.
Leave this to me.
Oh dear. Oh.
With soul and steel!
Oh, his armor is way more advanced than the stuff we've gotten to play with before.
It's all over now.
An opening.
Big guy.
No holding back.
Your defense is lacking.
Look upon a samurai of Doma!
Ah, some more big
You
guys.
watching, Pabalimo?
That just one-shot it. Oh my god.
No retreat. No surrender.
Tis my right to strike!
This one'll sting.
More of them.
Leave this to me.
Oh. Ammunition is depleted. Hey, you can't just run off. Deserting a battle is punishable by death. I order you to stand your ground and come back here now, please. Oh, he's beaten. You bring this fate upon yourself. Damn it all to the 7th hell. I'll kill you bastards if it's the last thing I do.
It's all over now.
Well, what you do here today will definitely be the last thing you do, but it won't be killing us. Ah, so he does have some tricks up his sleeve. He isn't just a brute. I mean, he is, but he's a brute with some tricks.
No holding back!
You haven't seen the last of me. Mark my words, it'll be you who rues this day. And he runs.
Temporal stasis disengaged. All systems operational. Garland?
All clear on this side. It's waking up.
Remarkable. Omega sensors immediately detected the presence of the cocoon, even at this distance. They must have been set to scan for sources of energy exceeding certain magnitudes.
I still don't see any means to control the machine directly. It seems to have been designed to act wholly autonomously. Once we release Omega, we can be fairly certain it will attempt to capture the Primal at Belsar's Wall. Assuming its mission is successful, our only option at that point will be to re-engage its stasis system and put it back to sleep.
And should the machine happen to misbehave, we'll simply initiate an emergency shutdown. I confess we don't yet have a complete grasp of its capabilities, but I'm certain the details will not elude us for long.
Well, I understood less than half of that. So, my question to you is, are we doing the right thing?
What do you think?
What do I think? All right. Step aside, Sid. Is this the thing I need to press?
Yes, that's the one.
You might as well be the one to do it, Ida.
You gave too much for us to waste this chance, Papalimo. So this is for you. And me.
Yes! Fly free, my pretty! Show us what you can do.
The launch sequence has begun. Omega is loose.
And so is our Primal. can fly. Saying goodbye to Belsar's wall.
Huh? Omega has stopped transmitting. But that shouldn't be. I didn't engage the stasis system.
And what does this signify? I have little understanding of these contrivances.
The launch went exactly to plan, but all signals emanating from Omega have ceased. This may indicate any number of things, but we will need to join the Scions out in the field if we are to ascertain which one.
Could be it was too damaged.
Right. I've ordered a malfunctioning beast to go to sleep. That should prevent any unfortunate mishaps. I suggest we make our way back to Gridania.
Yeah, but Foxy has a bad feeling.
Omega destroyed the cocoon. Papalimo's spell is fading. It was bound to his ether, you see. And if the connection is broken...
And Papalimo really is gone. His ether is dissipating. Gone to the life stream. I'm not sure why we lost contact with Omega, but I mean to find out. Let's be on our way. I came as soon as I heard the Excelsior had been spotted on its approach. One moment everything was functioning perfectly, and the next it wasn't. Makes no sense. We need to see what happened for ourselves, and soon. Agreed. Alpha looks like he has news for us. I almost dread to ask. Words can ill express how glad I am to see you all unharmed. When Omega came hurtling towards the cocoon, everything dissolved into chaos. I have to see it. I have to see it with my own eyes. Ida, wait! We must first... The Elder Seedseer is expecting us. Worry not, Alphino. Gosetsu and I will watch over her. You may safely attend your meeting. My thanks, Yugiri. The council reconvened a short while ago. Let us make haste for the Lotus Stand. All there are eager to hear your testimony. The Elder Seedseer awaits you within. Proceed to the Lotus Stand. And of course everybody's here. Merylbib. Another calamity averted, eh? How many times now have you and yours hauled us back from the brink? Too many to count, but that's what we do. 'Twould seem Garland's little friend was as good as his word. Nero's not a liar. Had I not instructed you to throw Nidhogg's eyes into the abyss, all this might have been avoided. I thought them beyond reach. Any reasonable person would have thought the same, Emmerich. It's not your fault. My friends, full eagerly have we awaited for your return. Few indeed could have discharged the duty entrusted to you, and most humbly do we thank you for seeing it done. You are too kind, Elder Seedseer. As I recall, we as good as demanded the right to try. But tell me, how did the battle unfold? We succeeded in waking Omega, aye, but we lost contact with the weapon shortly after it launched. From our position in the control room, we were blind to all that followed. What words could do justice to such a scene? None of my choosing, that much is certain. But I can give you the facts. The cocoon hatched even as Omega arrived, and from its midst rose a great dragon. The pair duly set about each other in the skies over Girabanya. The primal's might defied belief. It seemed the very heavens would be rent asunder by the force of its blows, and it wielded such magics I have never seen, and hope never to see again. The battle raged on with no end in sight, until both combatants were engulfed in a blinding flash of light. When the radiance faded, I saw the pair fall motionless from the sky, coming to rest somewhere on Alamegan's soil. I will not speak for the rest, but to my eye it seemed that each had landed a fatal blow upon the other. While most among us could think only of Bahamut when looking upon the primal's form, the Domans were heard to whisper the name Shinryu. It would appear that the being resembles a creature of Far Eastern legend, and we have found it convenient to refer it as such. His Shinryu's fate, and indeed that of Omega, is yet unknown. We have, alas, no eyes on the Girabanyan side of the border. Aye, which is why we have sent our main force under the command of Marshal Terrapin to capture the wall. With the Imperials in disarray, we have the perfect opportunity to secure Gridania's border, and assess the aftermath of the impact. I myself will join the Marshal and his men when the Council is adjourned. Well, that explains a few things. I'll wager that flash of light coincided with our loss of contact. Lest you wonder, we quickly re-engaged Omega's stasis systems, so even if it has fallen into the Empire's lap, it will be of no use to them, save perhaps as a statue. Correct. Without me to guide their efforts, it would take them decades to decipher Omega's core functions if they managed it at all. Such reassurances do much to calm our fears, yet the relic's fate is but one of several concerns. Indeed, I humbly submit that the time has come for us to make contact with the Resistance representatives in Girabanya. Though Ilbert has forced our hand, it would seem only logical to seek an alliance, given the inevitability of Imperial retaliation. And by working in concert, it is not impossible that Mhigo might finally be wrested from Garlemald's grasp. Indeed. If, as seems likely, we put Omega into stasis after... What did they call it? Ah yes, after Shinryu was defeated. We should have little to fear from either of them. I should very much like to see this Shinryu creature for myself. No, you would not. You know what primals do. When the primal emerged, I was for an instant transported back to Cardano, to the very moment the black worm made an eighth hell of the battlefield. Gladly would I live out the rest of my days without seeing such a sight again. I go to oversee operations at Balsar's Wall. You've done your part. Leave us to handle the initial Imperial reprisal and rest while you may. I think I'll do just that. Pray accept my humblest and most earnest thanks once again, Warrior of Light. Had Shinryu been suffered to roam free, the Twelves would surely have been laid to waste. This operation to take the wall will be Ishgard's first military action under Alliance banners. Though I have no appetite for bloodshed, a part of me is glad of the chance to begin reparations for our past inaction. Well, it's as good a time as any, I suppose. You must be exhausted. I would ordinarily suggest we retire to the Rising Stones, but I wonder if we might first make a small detour. Y'shtola and the others have gathered at Amarysai's Spire, and I imagine that you too would be interested to see what's become of the wall now that the cocoon is gone. It is decided then. Lead on. Let's see... The Hawthorn Hut. Ah, here are the others. Only the curs of Garlemald would sully such beauty with that black iron monstrosity. Those animals respect nothing and no one. Ida is there atop the spire. She has done naught but gaze silently at the wall for some time now. That's no surprise. God, this music. Again, it's good, but it's not fitting. No trace of the cocoon remains. 'Tis as if it never existed. Ah, thank the 12. After witnessing Omega's single-minded onslaught, I had visions of you being trapped between it and its target. Hardly the most rational concern, I concede, but if you had seen what I saw... Balsar's Wall doesn't look like much from here, but it's a smoldering ruin at this point.
My friends, I cannot well express how glad I am to see you both unharmed. They say that Omega's clash with the Primal shook the very firmament.
You need not have worried. The battle took place far above the ground. We were able to observe in relative safety, though I'm given to understand that there were casualties on the far side of the wall.
It was like watching a nightmare unfold before our very eyes. Ilberd's primal manifested in the form of a colossal dragon, a being of pure violence. It burst forth from the cocoon with such terrible force.
That such a horror should spring from the eyes of Nidhogg comes as no surprise. Nor do I wonder at its form. Ilberd all but announced it in the moments prior to his death. Plainly, it was his dying wish to visit a second calamity upon the Empire.
And I am quite certain the abomination would have obliged had it not found itself outmatched by Omega. Gods! I am no stranger to the works of Alag, but even I was unprepared for the machine's furiosity. It beggared belief.
And how fares poor Ida in the midst of all this? Have you spoken with her?
She is up on the platform, lost in thought. We deemed it best not to disturb her, but mayhap she would welcome some company after all. Shall we? The light's gone. It was all we had left of him.
Ida.
I don't blame anyone. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the spell Papalimo meant to cast would drain away his life force. I knew that it would only buy us a little time.
Ida, there is no need to explain.
Oh, she's so pretty.
But there is. I can't hide in Papalimo's little shadow anymore, and I shouldn't hide behind my sister's mask. 20 years ago, on the day the Empire marched into Mhigo, I was still just a child, not even 5 summers old. My father had been one of the leaders of the revolution. He had fought to overthrow the Mad King, Theodoric. And my sister had fought alongside him. But she was strong and kind, and always knew what to do. But when the Garleans came, everything changed. My father went to war against them too. And I never saw him again. After that, I remember a lot of running. My sister dragged me for malms and malms until we came to the city of Charlian. That was where she met Master Louis Soir. He introduced her to the Circle of Knowing, and she eventually became an Archon.
She was your inspiration. Is that not why you took up her mask and her name? Or did you simply mean to continue what she had started?
You've known all along, haven't you? That I wasn't Ida.
Of course. We all recognized you at once. 'Twas Papalimo who persuaded us to maintain the charade.
It was silly to think I could fool you. I knew that even then, but I sort of decided not to know. Ida died 6 years ago, on a mission to smuggle refugees out of Mhigo. They say she was overwhelmed by Imperial soldiers when she stayed behind to save a little girl. She was so strong. There must have been a lot of them.
So why'd you never tell me?
I'm sorry for lying to you. My real name is Lise. When Papalimo brought me Ida's mask, it was meant as a keepsake, but I decided I wanted to be his new partner, to keep alive all the good that she had done. I didn't want to become Ida, exactly. At the time, though, I still didn't know who I was myself, and it almost seemed easier to play the role. Papalimo agreed to help, of course, but it was never what he wanted for me. He wanted me to walk my own path, and those were his final words to me. The Archon's mark he gave me is faded, and my last excuse along with it. So this is it. Whatever I choose to do from now on, I do as Lise. And I choose to continue my family's fight. I want Mhigo to be the country that Ida and my father always wanted it to be.
War is upon us once more.
Do you regret standing against the Empire? Would you have chosen a different road, knowing what you know now?
To claim that I never doubted the decision would be a lie. But I made my choice, and I have defended it with blade in hand ever since.
The battle continues, and our steel is needed. Come, Shadow Walker. We leave for the east, for Doma.
It was brave of Lys to remove her mask after so long. Though she has scarce begun to come to terms with Papalima's loss, that one act made plain her determination to move forward. And should she ever falter, we shall be there to support her on the road she has resolved to walk. That we will. Let us return to the Rising Stones. We have quite a story to tell to Taru and my sister. Alright, let's go talk to Alphino and Alisaie. Should have seen the look on Tataru's face when I recounted Lys's. In retrospect, I realize in retrospect I should have perhaps waited for you to return. I also told Alisaie. I apologize. It's fine, honestly. He may have mentioned, but Alphino has apprised me of all that came to pass in Gridania. Your only task now is to rest. This is the calm before the storm. Lys has chosen her path, and as her friends, we must do what we can to support that choice. We are fated to join the conflict in any case. Once the Alliance has taken the wall and opened the way to Girabania, we will have little choice but to fight. Which is not to say that the cause is unworthy. After all, ignoring the plight of those whom one might conceivably save is not wisdom, but indolence, correct? I, for one, look forward to joining hands with the Alamegans and striking a blow against the tyranny of the Empire. As, I rather suspect, do you. I do. Quick march. The Imperials will soon come to their senses, and we must be ready to face their retribution. It's almost time, Father. Aye, almost. Stand firm, Pippin. I learned to brace myself against the charge of the Bull of Mhigo. No foe would dislodge me. If you could stand up to one of Relban's hits, I dare say you're the strongest Lalafell in the entire world. This is where it happened. Very well, Ilberd. I will take our homeland back. For the both of us. You are the bigger man after all, Relban. No grudge to hold, no hatred in your heart. Unlike these people. My Lord Viceroy, our scouts have confirmed the preliminary reports. Baelsar's wall has fallen to the Eorzean Alliance. The hunt for Omega and the unknown icon continues, though both yet elude us. My lord, the battle caused considerable damage across the region. Should we perchance divert some of our forces from the search to undertake necessary reconstruction work? Forgive me, my lord. I did not intend... Your will be done. Unknown. My spies tell me the Domans call it Shinryu, and that it proved a match for Omega. Yes, the coming days promise to be most interesting. Most interesting. At the far edge of fate, the road begins anew. The heroes look to eastern skies and behold their crimson hue. A dawn of liberation, a gathering storm of blood. And level up. Now, we do have another quest, and even a new job quest, Beyond the Great Wall, but that is going to lead us into Stormblood. Now, I would end off the episode here, but we do have one final thing to do before we end off. It doesn't get any easier, does it? No, it does not. No, it does not. Orshfont. Thank you for all you did. We're leaving now. We might not be back for some time. But I will bear your family's shield with pride. Until we meet again, old friend. Until we meet again. I'm Foxy Games. And I shall see you in Stormblood. Bye.